Want to pivot back to the markets. You guys, of course, one thing really looking at is a drop from 30% from its record high. It is, yes, Bitcoin. Really interesting that you're seeing further continued declines today, despite some of these really high inflation prints that we got on Friday from the New York Fed survey again today and pushing forward to PPI. Let's do all of this and more with Bloomberg's Katie Greifeld. Katie, it is interesting some of the big declines that we've seen. When you ask Caroline Hyde, she keeps telling me it's the inflation hedge.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it today. It looks more like a tech stock today. Again, tech is one of your worst performing sectors. Makes sense that crypto is trading along with it since, I mean, the correlation goes back and forth, but by and large, it tends to trade like a tech stock. And if you look at the price of Bitcoin, I actually want to draw our attention to the moving averages because it's butting up right against that 200-day moving average. And technicals matter a lot for Bitcoin, maybe more so than a lot of other things, just because there's not a lot else to go on. So the fact that sentiment has been flagging for weeks now, and we are close to breaking that 200-day moving average, it's not a great sign.
So if I believe in the voodoo of technicals, should I believe in the voodoo of correlations as well?
I don't know. I feel like in this case, in this asset, on this day, maybe you should.
Just on this day.
At this minute, on this hour.
Well, talking about correlations, it's not just the relationship between, Bitcoin and other risk assets. It's Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies out there. Is there discrimination in this crypto sell-off right now?
You were seeing this really interesting dynamic emerge where you saw Ether actually outperforming Bitcoin in terms of the sell-off that we've seen since the peak of November. But today, actually, you're seeing Bitcoin kind of be the relative haven if you look within the asset class. And you can see Ether down more so than Bitcoin, down almost 9%. So this is a little bit of a regime shift just in the past month of what we've seen.
We're also coming off last week some crypto hearings and testifying, and I am curious if the industry still considers regulation a legitimizing force.
The industry would tell you yes, that they really embrace regulation. And it's interesting, the hearings of last week, I think everyone or a lot of people in the industry would tell you was the fact-finding mission that they were promised. It really wasn't that, adverse. It didn't seem like the Senate or the Congress people in question were trying to get sound bites, but still the fact that regulation has been this overhang for the past year. It's expected to be a big topic in 2022. Just the fact that it's so front and center at this moment when Bitcoin is already on the back foot, it definitely doesn't seem to be a positive catalyst.
Yeah, and it's not even just Congress, right? It's Gary Gensler, too, who to a certain extent is dragging his feet into, I guess, the perspective of other people, maybe even potentially going to take a harder line here. I mean, we saw that video that he did, was it last week, against SPACs? And you're wondering, like, is one coming for crypto?
That was a good 2 minutes. I actually watched it this morning.
Who's this video producer? We should hire him.
The graphics were really cute, but you're right. It is a question who actually regulates crypto. Is it Congress? Does it even matter that we had these hearings? Or is it the SEC? Is it the Fed? And it's interesting that we're talking today and on this week of central banks, because the Bank of England released its financial stability report, and crypto is right up at the top, warning about the financial system risks that just the boom in crypto that we've seen could form. So it's not just Congress, it's all of the regulators, and it's a global issue.